Hello, hello, hello. One happy new year. I hope that this new year is bringing you peace, joy, giving you direction, bringing you into alignment with your dreams, your calling, and your purpose. I know that 2023 was definitely a year of figuring things out and preparing, I would say, for the breakthrough. So, again, I hope that this new year is starting you off great. Um, Today, basically, we're going to get into the essentials of starting a scrub business. I know many people have been reaching out and are very interested in starting a scrub business. And the number one thing that I come across is that um, no one knows where to start. Everyone's kind of lost as to what to do and where to get certain information. And I will tell you this, you can only Google but so much, and you can only research but so much. And in order to actually prosper and flourish in any business, you're going to have to jump in. So I am definitely going to lay out the essentials of starting it and give you as much direction as possible. Um, and it is for you to take that leap. You learn as you go. I learned as I go. Unfortunately, I also didn't have much guidance. So it was definitely an up and down roller coaster in the beginning, but that's why I'm here. And that's why I do this so that everyone doesn't have to start off with such a bumpy road and figure things out, in the beginning phases to get you to where you need to be. So, again, um, the scrub business is an absolute wonderful business to join if you are a medical professional or even if you're not. I have mentees that actually are not nurses or APRNs that are interested in the scrub business. It really is a business that anyone can really jump into, especially if it's something that you wear. Okay. So we're going to learn the essentials. We're going to learn how you can work from anywhere, from home, from an office, on vacation. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. First and foremost, I know, like me, many of you are tired of just feeling like you aren't getting anywhere. I know that going into the nursing field, I thought that that was like it. I was told go to school, get a career, and you'll be set. What they don't tell you is that you'll have a lot of student loans behind that you're going to be trying to pay off, and the stress that comes along with it. And that no matter what a job pays, the level of burnout and exhaustion that you feel and just losing um just basically like your overall time, it just really not worth it, right? So if you are feeling burnt out from being overworked, as we know nurses are, and overwhelmed with the patient and staff ratio, because we know that that's ridiculous at this point. If you're exhausted with only being able to get 2 days off, if you get that and you're not willing to work overtime and you're just looking to create more income, whether that be replacing your career or just adding some extra income, this right here is the right place for you. So if you're not familiar with me, and if this is your first time seeing me, landing on any of my pages, and or seeing any content from me, my name is Jillian Nadine. I'm a mom of three amazing boys. I'm a nurse by trade. I am the CEO of Aspire Fashion Scrubs, and I'm a scrub business coach. I'm also a co-owner of a non-medical home care agency, among some other things that I do as well. My life took a major turn when I started the scrub business back in 2019, right before the pandemic hit. I was honestly going through a lot. I was working overtime plus, okay? Um, long hours, just trying to make ends meet, just trying to provide my kids with a good life in my eyes, right? That I didn't realize I was basically stealing my time and my energy from the ones that meant the most to me. I remember one day I was working the night shift and I worked at a facility that basically mandated their nurses on a daily basis, literally. And because I was the newer nurse, unfortunately, I was mandated just about every shift that I was in there. It became so stressful that there were nights I was getting out of bed and getting ready, and I would just cry because I didn't want to go into work because I knew that I would be hit and having to stay the next morning. And I remember one night after coming home, one of my sons was just like, Mom, where are you? We don't ever see you anymore. You're working. And I just felt so bad. And like in my mind, I thought I was doing something right, right? Like I was sitting here making money to take care of everybody and make sure they get what they want, that I didn't realize I was taking me from them. And that is what I didn't want to do. So, again, it was a lot. I became tired. I was tired of trading my time for money, missing my children in their sports games. I was just feeling drained mentally, physically. I knew I had to do something different, and I wanted to give me basically the flexibility and the ability to work from anywhere that I wanted to. And then also to be able to bring in an income with no cap. Um, I hated having to either fight for my worth, right? To sit there and say, okay, you're paying me this, but with what I do and my skills, I believe I should be paid more. And either having people debate whether I should or turn me down. So again, after all of this, I had this idea of scrubs. We wear scrubs, and I actually really do love scrubs. I love wearing them. I think they're very comfortable depending on the brand you wear. And so I had this grand idea, and I was researching and just studying other scrub companies, and I sat on it. I sat on it for a couple years. And looking back now, I'm pretty sure, like many of you, I was like, "Ugh, I should have jumped in sooner." But I'm always one to believe that things happen when they're supposed to happen. So it is what it is. So I finally decided to take a leap of faith, and in 2019 jump in. Now I didn't launch 2019, but I did start it. I launched the beginning of 2020. My store actually fully opened. I actually started off drop shipping for another company because I hadn't quite made my brand yet. So I figured, okay, I'll start out with selling someone else's brand. And basically, as I start building up customers, then I will launch my own line so that people already know like who I am and they know that they can trust my store. I launched, I want to say January. Yes, it was the end of January of 2020. And I'm not going to lie, it was crickets for weeks. And I was just like, ugh, what am I doing wrong? Day after day, I would watch my store. I started doing some, advertising. I was getting some views but no sales yet. And then I decided to do a huge discount and do some paid ads on Facebook and Instagram. And in March, finally, I got my first sale. And I was so excited, so stoked. And I tell people, regardless of, the win, celebrate your wins. So I was so stoked. And it became just like a rolling snowball effect. One sale came in, then the next day I got a couple more sales, and then it just kept going. And I was just in awe, right? So the business took off. And so when I tell people my business took off quickly, people seem to think it was like I launched in that day, I like sold out. That's not what happened. Again, like I said, it was crickets for weeks. Okay. Silence, radio silence. But again, I had to market correctly, and that's what I was not doing. Again, that was something I had to learn. And even that first time, I don't think I was really fully marketing. I just put out some really cute photos, took a photo shoot, used photos, obviously, that I was getting from the site itself for the scrubs I was wearing, and was marketing to those who I knew basically, would wear them, which were nurses. So my first year, um, it was a bit of a surprise for me. Again, this started off as being mainly a side hustle just to make some extra money so I didn't have to work overtime as much as I was doing so I could spend more time with my family. And my first year I closed with a little over 54,000 in revenue between my online and in-person sales. And when I saw that, I just I knew I was meant to be here. I knew the scrub business was for me, and I knew that this was basically going to change my life. So the business that was basically meant to be a side hustle and make me money actually became a full-time second income. Um, Fast forward November 5th, yes, 2021, I decided to actually step away because I was making enough money where I was actually able to take a break. Again, I know it is draining. There's a lot of burnout. And even though I was making money, I was still working. My taper off, though, was not like right away. In my opinion, I would never steer someone into fully quitting their business until they know their business, or excuse me, quit their job until they know their business is actually bringing in some money. I didn't do that, so I would never coach somebody in that. I know there are people out there who are like, I quit my job and focused on it. Do not get me wrong, while you're working, yes, it is hard to put 100% into your business. But if you're the only one providing the income, like I was, I just wouldn't recommend you. You just never know. So I kind of tapered off. It went from full time to then going down to like 4 days, then to going down to like part time. And so finally, I was like, I'm going to go per diem. But before that, I decided to take a little hiatus off of work because I was tired and I felt like I deserved to just clear my mind. So I stepped away from nursing for probably a good 3 months. Um, it was during the holiday season, so it was great because there was holidays, winter vacations, things like that, and I was actually able to really just spend time with my family and enjoy those 3 months. Really just clearing my mind, working on the business, writing my steps, my vision boards, my action boards, because with a vision board you also have to take action. So I don't just ever do a vision board. I do an action board, and my actions actually, I write down the steps as to what I'm going to do to get to that vision that I have, and it helps me out so much. So, what makes the scrub business such a stable industry is that the scrub uniform industry is massive. Okay, it's huge. It's estimated currently at about 80 billion globally. It's highly lucrative industry that's projected to just grow. The statistics show that it will grow, increase by about 34% by 2030. So if it's 80 billion, you can just imagine. The need for scrubs are always going to grow with the incoming medical professionals. So though there's people who leave the field and baby boomers and things like that, there's always new classes coming in. There's always somebody in nursing school and dental school, physical therapy, you know. So they're always going into the field, and even in clinicals themselves, they need scrubs. So you think about it, even before they actually hit the career and start going, they need the scrubs before then. So it's something that's always growing. It is a profession that's always going to be needed. We've learned through the pandemic, obviously, we are essential. So it doesn't stop us from working anything, any type of disasters. The medical professionals and essential workers are always, on scene, and we're always going to need our uniforms. So it's never going to be like a business, unfortunately, that, during the pandemic had to shut down because it wasn't needed. We're going to be there. So being able to actually be prepared for things like that and have that supply on demand for yourselves and for other medical professionals is just absolutely amazing. What also makes the scrub business such a stable industry and such a great business to get into is that there's so many different avenues to sell your scrubs to customers, that is really hard not to sell. Okay. I know a lot of people are worried about, oh, is it so oversaturated? I will say this. Online, if you are not good and you know nothing about marketing, or if you don't have a team, there are a lot of online businesses. And that's just where we moved during the pandemic. Everyone went online because that was the only thing that they can do. And a lot of people started buying online. But as we got out of that a bit, I see a lot more with the scrub business and other businesses that people are kind of going back to wanting that physical store, or actually are going locally. So when I say there's different avenues, you have online, and yes, online can be a bit tough when you're going against a bunch of other scrub companies that are popping up, especially if you can't market the way you want to, because other big brands have the money, right? We see them popping up all over because they have more money and they have a team that's sitting there pushing out their ads. So they're seen more. But your advantage in the scrub industry is basically your local clinics, the nursing schools, cleaning jobs, right? All those people wear scrubs. And if you can sit there and build that rapport with them, then you can sell online, but you can also make so much more money on hand by just selling to like, local clinics and hospitals and schools and doing events. So there's a few different ways you can go about starting a scrub business, or should I say structuring. You can drop ship. You can resell, which is basically almost like a drop ship. The difference is that drop shipping, you're hands free. Drop shipping, you don't manage inventory. You don't even pay for the inventory up front. You're basically going to contract with basically like a middleman and or the company itself. It all depends. They do want you to apply for these businesses to drop ship. There's a form you fill out for some of them. You have to go to their websites, fill it out, and they will decide whether or not they want you to basically be a partner. If you go through a middle person, though you're not paying for the inventory up front, you are going to have to pay these middle people. That's how they make their money. They have the contract with the big companies, and you're basically going to be a subcontract under them. Again, you do not touch the inventory. You have your store set up. People buy through your store. You send those sales basically to the person that you're working under, and they get everything sent to the big company who's going to ship it out for you. So you don't ever touch anything. You could do the independent scrub line, and that is basically starting your scrub line from scratch. This is going to be your brand, okay? You're going to handle everything. So you do inventory. You're also going to set up your store. You're going to manage shipping. You're going to decide on the price of this. So everything is basically what you want it to be when you do an independent scrub line. And then you have the reselling or wholesale business. And again, much like the drop shipping, when it's not your, product, is that you would handle the inventory. You would basically be buying in bulk another brand's scrubs, and then you're going to sell them on your platform, your store, or your brick and mortar, whatever it is that you decide, if you want to go online, if you want to have a physical store, or if you're going to do both. So you manage the inventory from there only because you'll be ordering ahead of time. So what reselling or wholesaling is, you are putting up the money first, just like with your independent scrub line. You are going to buy the scrubs first, and then you're going to sell them. So the first steps to starting a scrub business, obviously, of course, is going to be doing your research first. Okay. You want to know that this is the business that you want to be in. Don't jump into anything because it's just a fad right now. You need to really want to get into it, because again, if this turns into a whole big business company, you want to be prepared. You want to know what you're getting yourself into. Now, after you do your research and decide basically which structure you want to go with, whether it's going to be drop shipping, independent, or wholesaling, you're going to register your business with the Secretary of State. Um, Now, you do have to pay for this. This is what they call your LLC. And that price range depends on the state. From what I've found, because again, you're always learning, is that some states have an LLC in what they call like a franchise like tax, so you have to pay a franchise fee. I do know Texas is one of them. California, I believe, is one. So please do look up your states before doing this and seeing the cost and if it's something, because the franchise is almost like an annual tax fee. You have to pay that amount whether your store makes money or not every year. So just keep that in mind and look that up to make sure that's something you want to get yourself into. Okay? So after you create your LLC, next you're going to get a EIN. Okay? Actually, I'm going to backtrack that. Before you get your LLC, I always teach LLC because it's the main thing. But you really do want to go forth and get a virtual address. If you do not have a physical address, if you don't have like an office, or if you don't have an office, or I wouldn't even say a PO box or a brick and mortar, if that's the way you're not going and you're just going to do online. A virtual address is really good, and that's only because when you create your LLC, you're going to basically be putting all your information in that form, and that information is public to everyone. So to lenders who are going to end up funding you, your bank accounts and things like that. And if they look up your stuff, if later on you ask for some funding, or you're, at the bank account and you want credit cards and loans and things like that, and they look up and see your address is a residential address, they're going to basically kind of shy away from giving you what you need. So a virtual business helps because it makes your business look more professional. There are some virtual businesses that actually have like suites, like there's like offices, and they are basically in buildings. So when people do look it up, it looks like you are actually in a professional setting. So start with your virtual address first. Obviously, you do need to know the name of your company. So look up to see and make sure the name that you want to go with is not taken, right? When you're doing the LLC, get your virtual address and then fill out the LLC and put that address in the information that they're collecting. Okay. Okay. Then of course we're going to go and get the EIN. The EIN is free. Please, please, please do not pay anybody to apply for an EIN. Excuse me. I have seen so many times people are over here like, I'll do your EIN, I'll do your LLC. And I'm going to say this. I almost got duped like that starting one of my businesses. An EIN is free and it takes a few minutes. You're going to go to the IRS and you're going to fill out the form. The same stuff that they wanted for your LLC, you're going to fill out your name. You're going to put the address. You're going to put that it is either a single member, or if it's a partner, you're going to put that it's a partnership. And then you're going to submit it and they're going to give you a number. And that EIN is basically your business's social security number. That's what that is. It basically implies that you started a business, and that's what they use for tax purposes. But do not pay anybody because it's free. It is free. I hate when I see people paying for that. After you set up your LLC, EIN, and your virtual address, we're going to move forward and go and get a business bank account. Why it is so important to separate your funding. You do not want to mix your personal with your business. One, it becomes very messy during tax season if you do that. Two, you just don't want to get audited all messed up and then they ask for stuff and you're having to rummage through your statements and half of it is personal and then half of it is your, bank expenses, your business expenses. So it's really good to get a business bank account. Now, what I do, you don't have to do this, but this is just my suggestion, is I always start off with 2 business bank accounts. One for my expenses, one for my revenue. So once money comes in to one account, from the sales that I make, I know all my expenses. That's all my overhead. That's my office fees, website fees, marketing fees, inventory fees, anything like that. I move over to my other account. That's so that anything that goes out is going to come out through that bank. It helps me. It might not help everybody else. It just helps me to stay on track. So when I'm looking for something, I know, well, this is where I go to see what is actually being taken out my account for my business expenses. And the other one just kind of shows me what I basically made. And that's how I do it. Yeah. So, I mean, you can start off if you already have a relationship with a bank, one that you already use now, you can go to them and start a business account, or you can look up some and then see what they have to offer, especially for small businesses. You want one that's really good. Credit unions are really good for small businesses. There are some online ones. I will say I really like Lily Bank. I do have Lily Bank. I do have Blue Vine. I really like the way they work. I don't think some people like online banking because they're online and there's no physical bank. I've never had an issue. They're wonderful. They actually help with the tax. Lily actually helps with taxes, where it will take out a percentage of your revenue and put it into what they call a tax bucket, which helps because then you don't have to sit there and like save anything, because it already took it out and put it in that tax bucket. So when it's time to pay your taxes, it's already removed what you needed to off of what has been coming in. So you can look that up if you want. You're also, after this, those are like the main things, right? That's going to get you started. And then you want to create a business plan. Now you could do the business plan earlier if you want, from, ahead of the bank and stuff, but that's all the legal stuff. Creating a business plan is basically going to help you later on, especially with like funding and crowdfunding and like loans and or grants. A lot of them want to see a plan. They want to see, what you're doing, what you plan to do. How do you plan to scale? They want to know what exactly they're going to be funding. So that's what a business plan helps with. So even though this is going into the virtual address, which we've done, a virtual number is also good. Getting a number that is separate from your personal, especially once you launch, is good, just in case people want to reach out. I do not answer numbers that I do not know on my personal phone. So if you're like me and you don't answer them and you get calls and it happens to be from your store, that's either a potential customer or a customer with an issue, and you don't answer it, that's going to be a problem. So at least if you get a business number, you know that all the numbers that are actually being, sent there, all the calls are for your business. So you're going to answer it. So it's really good to have that. Again, just another way of making your business look more professional, even if you are working from home. So once you have all that set up, right, your business is legit now. You have a business now. You got the LLC. You have everything you need. Now you need product. Again, if you are going to be drop shipping, then you're already basically at this point should be kind of set up with who you're going to be drop shipping for. So you're just going to get all that information you need, and then you're going to be drop shipping their stuff. They're either going to, set you up with a store, or you do it yourself and, mock photos. And then you're going to, open your store, launch, and you go from there. If you are going to wholesale, at this point, after setting everything up, you should have an idea of who you're going to wholesale with. But if not, not a problem. You can look around. Not just known brands wholesale. There are other places that will wholesale to you. You're going to find them and you're going to buy their supplies. Now, in order to find a supplier that has good quality material, you should first get samples. I get that question all the time, is like, how do I find good vendors or suppliers? I'm not going to lie. You're going to be shuffling through for a little bit. You honestly have to get samples and figure it out. basically. That's the truth. I mean, I can always tell you of some ones that I feel are good, but even in my coaching program, I have had some ladies where, certain vendors I use are like, I got a sample from the one you have, but that it just wasn't for me. And so I actually worked with another couple too, and I actually loved what they had because we're all different, right? We all like different things. And so maybe what I'm like, oh, this is grand material to me, and I love, what they have to offer is not quite for you. So you have to get samples with whoever. I would never ever tell you to just start off and bulk order with a supplier. Get a sample, get more than a sample. I always say minimum 3, but you might want to go with more, because you'll find that maybe you do even like the first one you went with. Oh my God, I love it. But if you went with a couple more, you might realize that actually there's some other better quality and stitch work out there. So I wouldn't really kind of just confine myself to just going with one supplier. You do need to do a few and see how that is. So that's the honest truth when it comes to getting samples and finding good quality material, is getting samples from a few different suppliers. Now you could do Alibaba, you can do AliExpress. They have wholesale-scrubset.com. These are just a few. Alibaba is where the majority of mine, they are overseas, come from. They have their own catalogs, and they can design your own artwork as well. Now, these sites, Alibaba and AliExpress, is if you're going to start your own independent scrub line. You're going to start from scratch. It's going to be your brand. That's who you would go with. You'll find a supplier. You're going to get some samples, and if you decide to go with them, you're going to move forward, and again, you're going to create a partnership. You're going to sign a contract. They do all of that, okay? Wholesale Scrub Set is basically a store that is actually domestic. They're basically a brand. They don't basically create your own line, but you can get their stuff in basically wholesale, like it says. So you're just going to buy scrubs from them, and then you're going to just sell them on your site. Now, while you're looking for suppliers, right? You're going to be looking for suppliers. You're going to decide what you want to sell, how you want your brand to look, basically. You're also going to be deciding who your target is, and how you should be basically building up your platform. Everyone thinks basically that you sell scrubs, that every nurse is going to buy them. And I'm sorry to tell you, that's not how it works. And I know, because from experience and from so many people who've been on webinars in the past with me, and mentees, when I tell them, like, listen, you have to know who your target is, because every medical professional is not your customer. And they're like, what? Not everyone who doesn't wear scrubs won't buy from me. No, everyone who wears scrubs is not going to buy from you, because everybody cannot be your target customer. I'm sorry to tell you. We're not all alike. Our bodies are different. Our styles are different. Our price range is different, what we'll pay for. And so you have to decide who you're going to be targeting when you launch your own brand, okay? You need to know their demographics. You need to know, honestly, their income. That right there is a big one, because I know we all know that there's figs out there. Figs is very expensive. Who's buying figs? People with more money. I think my price ranges are great, and yet I've had people who are like home health aides and CNAs are like, they're nice, but they're too expensive, and I'm on the lower range. So it all depends, right? You need to know who your target is. Also, when it comes to styles, joggers are becoming huge. You still have so many people that are like, I don't get it. I don't get what's the big thing about joggers. I don't like them, and I won't buy them. They want a classic look. So you have to know, who am I targeting? What do they like? Not what you like. What do they like? Because your brand is basically about your customers. It's not about you. So that's again, while you're looking for suppliers and how you're going to be running your brand and what you want it to look like. You need to know, who am I going to target? And it doesn't mean that your target can't expand, right? It just means that when you first start off, you need to pick who it is you're going to market to so that you can market correctly. One of the biggest misconceptions is that if I just put an ad out about scrubs, I'll get people to come with me. Or if I'm only putting ads out for specific people, don't I lose money? No, you don't. If you target correctly to your target customers, you'll actually make more money because you're targeting the correct people. If you're targeting everybody, you're going to get people to look, right? You'll see it. You'll see the views. You might see some people like, but they're not going to buy. It's not going to convert. So, again, you want to make sure that you know who your target is. Your business needs its own page. Brand awareness is huge. Okay. Brand awareness is huge. That's what's really going to make you sell. And in the beginning, nobody's not going to know who you are. Is why I tell people to start their awareness now before you launch your store. After you get your LLC and you know your name is locked in and your logo is locked in, start up your own websites or your own pages, like social medias, like TikToks and Instagrams, Twitters, LinkedIn, Facebook. You don't have to do them all, but just choose a couple and create a page for your brand itself for you to basically create brand awareness. Attend hospital shows and events. Those are huge. Eventbrite is a place that I go. I know a lot of other small businesses and bigger businesses use them. You can look up events and be a vendor at so many events, events for, hospitals, events for other medical things that are going on. And you can set up your stuff and have people come and buy them on the spot. Okay, so that's how you're also going to create brand awareness, especially locally. Hi, I'm a new scrub store. This is what I offer right now. Sign up. Always get an email. I tell people, people don't think, but email marketing is one of the biggest ways to get customers to buy from you. Because guess what? At the end of the day, even though social media is huge right now and being online, if it drops and just something goes wrong, or if social media, the era of that dies out, how are you going to market? How are you going to get to your people? How are they going to see? Email's huge. So always collect an email at these things. Have either a little sign up sheet, put your name and your email, and we'll update you and you can always say things for like new inventory, new styles, new colors, and then that's how you get them. And then that's how you target and you market those. You do email marketing. And that's how you build up your, local awareness of your brand. Okay. You also want to make like flyers and cards, and you want to distribute them to like clinics and medical schools. I was really good for walking. When I mean walking around, I will park my car if I'm driving somewhere and I saw like a strip that had like urgent cares and like the private little clinics and things like that. I would park my car and I would just walk up and down the street, and I will walk into these places and I'd be like, hi, my name is Jillian Nadine. I'm a scrub business owner. I see you guys wear scrubs. I always ask, and this is what I ask for everything. Do you buy your own scrubs? Are you responsible, or does your place of employment either reimburse you or buy it for you? And if they basically say like who they work for, the clinic will reimburse them or pays, for their scrubs, I'd ask for an email. Who is it? If you know that I can contact, I can take their email, because sometimes right then and there, it's a clinic. They're not going to want to talk to you, right? Set up a meeting. And if they say, well, we have to buy our own scrubs, can I leave a card with you? Some like, they don't want to solicit, but some will take your card and be like, oh, absolutely. I wear scrubs. Let me see what you got. I'll take the card. We'll look at it. So you want to do that. Make flyers, make cards, and distribute them. Promote even without a product. Even before you get your stuff, you need to promote. Again, this is going to save you from doing a dry launch. Um, I've had a few ladies like, oh, I don't have anything, but I'm gonna launch my store this date. And I'm like, well, have you been posting anything? Have you been marketing? Not yet. So you're gonna launch your store and nobody knows who you are. You're not gonna make any sales. You're going to be very disappointed because you're not going to make any sales because nobody's going to even know you had a store. It's just going to pop up out the blue. And people don't trust things that they don't know. So if you start, obviously promoting, early, basically posting online, even the samples. That's why I say get samples. Whichever one you're going to go with, that's what you're going to start promoting. You're going to take photos. They don't have to be professional. You can take photos yourself. If you want to do a photo shoot, you can. And then you use those to start posting here and there so that people are aware. You start gaining followers, giveaways, start doing giveaways even before you launch. Sign up here, tag a few friends. On our launch day, we're going to announce a winner and you give away a set. That's how that works. So I'm going to ease your mind. Okay. The scrub business is lucrative. And you have the upper hand. Basically, many people are basically afraid to start something new, such as a business, because they're uncertain, right? What if it fails? And that's the biggest problem is we allow our thoughts, our intrusive thoughts to sit there and stop us because we're afraid of failure, that we don't even think about what will happen if we win. Doesn't that sound crazy? Everything is a 50-50, right? You can go ahead and get a new job right now and be like, oh yes. And then you can get fired or laid off and have no money, So why not take a chance on yourself? Yes, there's a chance that your business could not take off like you wanted to. There's a chance that it could be better than what you ever dreamed of. Wouldn't you want to take that chance though? You got to stay motivated. You got to stay determined and you got to be disciplined. A lot of us deal with like an imposter syndrome and I'm good for it too. Not feeling worthy enough or consistently like comparing ourselves with other people. Especially because of social media and the social media gurus and the ones that have told you that they quit their job and made $1 million the next day, or we see their progress and we tend to forget that they all had to start somewhere, that in the beginning they started out too. They had to learn all this, that maybe some successes have been overnight. Most people are not an overnight success, that you have to work for it. Some of the most successful companies right now literally did not become multi-million dollar and multi-billion dollar businesses till years after being created. Years. But what I say with this is because it's such a good business to join in, because it's always needed, and that you have the upper hand, it's good to get in and just stay focused and stay determined until it gets there. You know the industry, you know what you like to wear, you know what the other nurses are. It is great to, when I say do research, do it with the people around you. Ask them, what is it that you guys like to wear? Excuse me. Ask them about styles, take polls with the people you work with, family members and friends that are in the medical field, get feedback. Ask them things like, I like to throw out little polls on, my pages. Is it price that drives you? Is it style that drives you? Or is it basically like the material? Does it have to be super soft and flexible and 4-way stretch and anti-wicking? Or does the price have to be good for you? I've had some people come back and say they don't care what the price is, long as it's comfortable and durable and they can work in it for hours. And I'm like, okay, good. I've had some people who've come back in a poll to say, yeah, price for me does matter. Like it has to be, nice, but it has to make sense for me. And I get that. So, you can always do that. What's also good about this and how I'm going to ease your mind is there's no cap to income when you own your business in a scrub store. There's no cap. There's no one saying, oh, listen, you've worked this many hours this week and this is what we're giving you. And, until your next evaluation, that's it. You can make 5 figures, you can make 6 figures, you can make 7 figures. No cap to it. There's no end to it. Okay? What's also good is that success looks the way you want it to. Everyone thinks being successful is maybe hitting that $1 million mark. But to be quite honest, isn't success just being able to do what you want to do freely? Success to me was being able to leave nursing for 3 months, right? To have enough income to be able to just chill because it was coming in, to be able to dictate when I wake up what I'm doing, right? How much time I'm actually putting into my business. That's what success looked like to me. For me, once I got to that point, I was like, oh, I cracked the code. I'm here. I'm not getting up like, I gotta go to work today. And no, it doesn't mean that it's always gonna be like, rainbows and sunshine. Trust, there are days I'm pulling out my hair, but I'd rather sit here and stress and pull out my hair for myself and my business than somebody else while they're over there getting rich and I'm working for them. I'm just one of those people that I put in my all into all of my work. So as a nurse, I was just always like, I'm going to do my best to the best. And so why can't I do that for myself? I'm doing it for somebody else. Why can't I do it for myself? And that was my thoughts. If I'm going to do it for somebody else, I could do it for myself. A good thing about this is a startup is low. I know a lot of people worry like, oh, I want to start, but I don't have the money. You don't need that much to start a scrub business because you don't have to start with a lot. I tell people, take it slow. One step is progress enough. Take it slow. Don't start with, oh, well, I need to launch a store with 8 different colors and 5, 6 different styles and things like that. Start off with 1, maybe 2 sets, a couple of different colors. Because you have to first see how well you are in business, right? Everybody wants to work for themselves. I mean, that's what we've gotten to. But I'm not going to lie, everybody's not a good boss or a business owner. Everyone wasn't meant to do it. So you need to see if it's something you're even capable of doing and that you want to do once you kind of get into it. Like, is this something actually do I like it? Do I want to sit here and have a business and work for myself? So start off, low. And I would say usually with the suppliers, especially international ones in China, they start off with like 100 minimum. Usually I have seen some that started off with a 50, like they'll let you order 50 sets, and 50 sets basically means top and bottom, with a couple different sizes and 2 different colors, or 100, which is what I started off with, which is what I also recommend to a lot of my students, to start off with 100, do 2 different colors, do about 4 or 5 different sizes. Market those, sell those, see how you feel, see how well you market. With the revenue of that, you can then go and buy more sets. That's how I did it, because I refused to take out loans. I didn't take out any loans. I started out with my own money. And then what I started doing with those sales is buy more inventory. And that's exactly how I kept increasing. You don't need to spend $10,000, $20,000 to begin. Honestly, buying the inventory for the first time is going to be the most expensive, and usually with like 100 sets, depending on how much each set costs, like if it's joggers, how many you order. I would say the range usually is maybe up to about $2,000, $2,500, because you have to pay for shipping, things like that, if you get it, customized to you as well. Your LLC, now again, that ranges. Some people only pay $70 for an LLC. Some pay $100. I know there's some states that are like $300, $400. It all depends. So look that up again. So really though, to start off a scrub business, I honestly would say that no more than 5,000 to start. And it doesn't have to be 5,000 all at once. If you get what I'm saying, you can get the LLC and stuff done, wait a few weeks. And with the scrubs, the good thing about that is you don't have to pay it all at once. I'll say this now. When you're getting your bulk set, usually, and this is how I would do it anyways, is you pay half to have them created. So once you decide it from the samples, like what it is that you want, you only pay half. You pay half for them to start production, and then you're going to pay the next 50% when they're ready to ship it off. So it gives you, a few weeks, because for them to create like your sets, usually it takes them a few weeks to create, a good 2-3 weeks to create your bulk, and then getting ready to ship. And sometimes it might be like a good month and a half. I know from my experience in the beginning, a good month and a half, 2 months, and from a lot of the ladies in my coaching program, the same thing. So you think if it's $2,000 to start, you're paying $1,000 for them to get it started after you guys decided on everything, and for them to ship it out a month later or so, you're going to pay the next. So that gives you time in between. You're not just having to throw everything in at once, if that makes you feel better. Again, like I said, it's a very low startup. Now, again, the scrub business, though it is a great business, it is not for everybody. But this is for you. If you know that working 40 plus hours a week for 40 plus years is not how you want to continue life. I knew that I didn't want to retire in my late 60s and then live. I knew that for me wasn't life. Like I want to live now. And so I had to make a change. And that's when, I started my businesses. This is for you if you understand that we're in a crucial time economically. Okay. Expenses are on the rise. Pay is not increasing with those expenses. It's not matching. It is not mathing. It's there's nothing. Unfortunately, households that were able to just have one income and even two are needing 3 and 4. Even with a nurse's salary. So this is for you if you know that having more than one stream of income is no longer just like wanted, but it's needed to live comfortably. This is for you if you're just tired of having to ask for time off, for bereavement, for increase in pay, knowing that you deserve it and it's not giving. And if this is for you and all those match you, then you know that the scrub business is something that you want to get into, and that you should get into, and that you shouldn't hold off on. Because I'll tell you this, the longer that you wait because you're like, oh, I'm deciding for the right time, you're going to look back years later and you're still not going to start, and you're going to wish you did, because there's never going to be a right time. It's never going to be a right time. The right time would have been 5 years ago. But since that didn't happen, the right time is today. So for me, I started the Scrub Academy, which again was something that I didn't plan, which is why I say that the scrub business itself, there's so many ways to make money because there's so many different things you can branch into. I started off with just a store and wanting to sell scrubs. And then from there, I embarked on another path because people started asking me how I started a scrub business in an independent line. And from there, I got into coaching because people wanted to sit down with me. And it became a lot to just do one-on-ones that I end up doing an academy so I can do group teaching, because instead of repeating everything, I can sit here and teach multiple people at a time everything they need to know. Now, obviously, I still do one-on-ones when it comes to like really getting into depth in your specific business. But for the most part, I do live weekly Zoom calls with my ladies, and I teach them everything, and they ask me questions. And sometimes it's questions that other people know and are afraid to ask. And so it helps other people around. So that's where the Scrubbing Academy came in. And the Scrubbing Academy is basically a detailed blueprint on how to create your own medical uniform business. I walk through everything again from like businesses, tax ID, manufacturers, marketing, and more. We do the fundamentals to creating a business, how to make your business run smoother, apps to use. I do one-on-one sessions. You learn about taxes, sales taxes, because you do have to get a license to sell scrubs. So that's another thing you need to do after everything is set up. And then you learn that you have to pay on sales tax, and some people have to do it monthly and some people do it quarterly, depending on your state again. So we go through all of that. We go through the key ways of how to network, how to actually create partnerships, how to get contracts. So that's what the Scrubbing Academy is. I honestly try my best to make sure that I teach everything that I know, everything that I did wrong, and everything I had to fix to do right to get to where I am now, so that everybody doesn't have to make the same mistake. And my students love it. And I'm so happy, because I'm not going to lie, I had imposter syndrome when starting my coaching business, because again, it was not my plan. It was not my plan, but God saw it fit. I was just like, I don't know what to, to teach. I know how to do it. Am I giving them everything? My fear was, am I going to give them everything? Are they going to learn from it and be able to apply it? I guess that was my biggest thing. Like, if the stuff I'm teaching, can they actually take it and apply it? And this is what a few of them are saying, you know, they thoroughly enjoyed it. From the course that I have, because I do a self-paced course, but in the academy, you get the course along with a mentorship as well. And many of these ladies have launched their stores already and are doing very well and are already in the midst of getting contracts. And I'm super duper happy. And with my academy, we have an Aspire Inner Circle. And this is basically just what it is and what we have 39 students in there currently. And again, we do weekly live sessions. The holiday was just around, so it got a little bit of because everybody was working or on vacations and things like that, but we just got back to it. And we're getting focused because it's a new year again, but it's a really good space. It's a space to be with people who are doing the same as you, because even though I'm, kind of guiding these sessions, there have been a lot of ladies who will ask certain questions. So ones who are ahead of them, who have just launched, who are in the midst of launching, that kind of want to know, well, from your experience, what are you doing and how well is it going? So a lot of these ladies, I love that they are all sharing, because I'll say that's the one main thing in business. It seems like everybody wants to kind of gatekeep and want to keep everything to themselves, because I guess they feel like if I tell everything, then that's my competition and we can all win. I try to tell people there are millions and millions on millions of medical professionals out there. 1% of that, 1% of that trust does not affect somebody else's business. I'm never worried about my customers, because I know what I'm offering and they like what I'm offering and they continue to come back. And it doesn't mean they might not trickle out to somebody else and buy things, but they know what I have to offer, that they'll always come back, So what's for you is going to be for you. What's for me is going to be for me. So, I love the fact that it's a space to grow with each other, to share with each other, and not sit there and be like, oh no, I can't share because you're going to take that from me, or you're going to take that idea, or you're going to do that. And these ladies are sitting here dropping gems on each other as they're growing as well. And so it's a great space to be in. So this is basically the essentials. And what I've run through is basically how you get, started with everything. And if you're looking for more in detail and you're ready to get in and you're going to stop being fearful, again, because it's not going to get you anywhere, then just know that I am literally running the Scrubbing Academy. And you have access to the course. The course is a self-paced 3.5 hour course that basically expands on everything that I just did today. Um, and then you get the workbook. The workbook keeps you organized. Okay. It is basically a layout. It has checklists for you to have everything and for you to write things down, like your EIN and your LLCs and the names of your stuff and the vendors you're using. You also get one-on-one sessions with me. That's basically to brainstorm. Let's collect your ideas, get you on a right path as to what you need to do. With the academy, you access suppliers. I do have a list of suppliers that I supply to my mentees, templates and demos. I actually give templates of a lot of the letters and contracts that I use with my clinics that I'm contracted with, or letters that I send off to nursing schools and to clinics that I'm trying to partner with. And so I send those off to you guys as well to use, those that are in the academy. And then, you just kind of use things as you go, change some wordings around if you need to. But again, I'm here to basically teach you everything I know and make things easier. And then again, with the Scrubbing Academy, you get a spot in the exclusive community with the other ladies that are learning and launching. So again, 2024, this is the year to really just, I would say, take action. It should be an action year to just stop sleeping on yourself, stop doubting yourself, take that leap, trust the process, and begin creating the life of your dreams. Don't wait for somebody else, and don't sit in a career that you know you do not want to stay in, and or that's just stressing you out and not giving you the freedom that you're looking for. So I do offer packages. My self-paced course is $89.99. I was running a sale, and every once in a while, that's why it's good to just kind of go subscribe to my page because I do every once in a while throw in a sale. My self-paced course is $89.99. That basically is a course that you flow at your own pace. It's 3.5 hours of information on how to start your scrub business. Comes with a workbook to organize, and then you get one 30-minute session with me after the course. I do have a premium membership. That is $1,400. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, my programs are nowhere close to what a lot of people are charging for coaching. And that really is because I am offering quality information. Okay. But I understand because I was at a space in my life where I needed mentorship and I was trying to start things and everything was $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. And I was just like, who has that? I'm trying to make money now. I ain't got that to dish out. So I understand that, though some people are willing to pay that, and that's really good. I just did not want to be trying to charge that amount. So again, my main package is $1,400. Now with that package, it is a year access to all the content. Okay. You're going to get 6 one-on-one private sessions with me through that time. All right. Access to templates that I was telling you about, marketing sessions and contracts, Canva demos. I will teach you guys how to create content on Canva because that's what I use and I love it. And that's what I use to market. That's what I use to create a lot of my videos, my posts, my reels, and everything that basically I use for marketing. You get vendors information. Along with that, you also get your building business credit course. So I do have another course on building business credit, which is so important for small businesses. A lot of people do not know anything about business credit and using your business's information to get, funding and credit, lines of credit so that you don't have to even use your money. And so you do get access to that. without any extra cost in this. Weekly live sessions. Again, I do weekly live sessions unless, voiced if something happens. Again, those are just basically to help with questions. So they're Q&A questions. Every week we meet up, and if you have questions that you've come across or help with anything, it is in a group setting, and I do those. And then, of course, you get enrollment to the She Aspires Inner Circle, where you get to meet a lot of the other lovely ladies who have embarked on this journey. I do have a silver package that is $800. Now, this one is $800 because it's a 6-month program. Again, it comes with the Canva demos. This one only comes with 3 one-on-one sessions, marketing strategies, vendor information, weekly lives, 24-hour access to replays. That's what my packages for my mentorship does. You have access to them at all times, replays of the videos of our sessions that we've had together, and any other content that I put out. Take hold, though, of your life. And you want to work with me, because I would like to work with you, but only if we are a good fit. I do believe that certain people are meant to learn from others. And I believe that I'm only, here to mentor certain people. So if you're seriously interested and ready to take action, please email me at hello@jilliannadine.com. We'll discuss basically the best plan for you to start your payment plan, unless you want to pay in full price, and just see where you're at, what you want to do, and see if the Scrubbing Academy is a good fit for you. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I did this because I'm always asked to do a live session, and I don't do live sessions that often. So I figure this is basically kind of what I teach during my live webinars, that I would honestly get it and post it on YouTube so that you guys actually have access to it all the time. I am going to be doing a live, though, because I know people like to ask questions during those lives, and I've just been asked by several people to do a live. That will be coming within the next few weeks. I am not sure of what the date is yet. I am going to figure that out. But when I do, I will basically, I'll post that. I'll do a video or so that everybody can sign up. Again, I'm going to be kind of teaching. I'll probably go in a little bit more depth on live, or, if there's questions, might be some things that are not basically in this presentation, but I will be doing that. So stay tuned. And again, if you're ready to just take hold of your life and change it, and be focused and have this the year of taking action, email me. I would love to hear from you. I would love to work with you if that's what you want to do. Be safe, be positive. Again, thank you for watching. If you like what you just saw, please subscribe, okay? Like and follow, and I will be back to tell you more about the scrub industry and all the great gems, and why you should be a scrub business owner. So you take care.